Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning. So it's a Victory Monday here for us Bears fans. As I say that to Bears Twitter, bear down. And we got a Broski this morning. We got a Joe this morning. Let me add a Broski. There we go. We got a Mike. Thank you, Mike. Good morning, Matthew. So, hey, I got a question. Please answer. Oh, good morning, Fred. And then I can finish sharing this out while Ken answers the question. Jesus. Good morning. So, hey, I think we can go undefeated, said who?
Who do you think?
You tell me.
Rasheed Walker, which was dumb to stay in the first place.
So how's that working out for you?
Pretty good. The Bears somehow managed to luckily not go winless this season.
Well, it's a very good Monday morning, isn't it? And a Bears fan.
It is a very good Monday morning. In fact, let me tell the Browns right now. Browns.
Oh, man.
The team that said they would go undefeated. Victory Monday.
Hey, man. Sean Judkins and Joe Flacco are just too much for the Fudgies.
Yeah. Well, we found out this past weekend the Chicago Bears can't ask the greatest NFL team.
You mean wait. You mean the guy they call Joe Flacid?
The mighty Cleveland Browns taking down Micah Parsons and the Fudgies.
He had a great stat line. He had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. That was awesome.
So, did he win?
Speaking of interception, it looks like Jordan Dalton was at it again, throwing the ball to the other team in the clutch, huh?
Yeah, that one I will give Cleveland completely, because they were playing man coverage the whole way, set it up to look like man coverage all the way till the very last second, and Jordan Love bid on it.
Wait. Let me have my Dorn moment. Jordan Love's a bust. He cost Green Bay the game single-handedly. If not for his inopportune interception, the Packers win that game. But no, Jordan Love, the bust, decides to throw an interception on a pass he shouldn't have made. Therefore, let them score, 10 points in 36 seconds? Yeah.
He is the modern-day Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay, because Caleb Williams is a modern-day Jamarcus Russell. He occasionally won a couple of games, too.
Oh,
and
Sean Judkins.
What was Caleb's QBR yesterday, Broski? Do you know?
I want to say it was somewhere around 142 or something.
It was.
Could you tell me what it was the first 2 weeks?
His average for the season's a 107.3. How many interceptions does he have this year? Anyone know?
Only one.
How many touchdowns?
Well, I mean, it's a 7-to-1 ratio right now, which is pretty solid.
Well, that's terrible. I mean, but Jordan Love, he's the best.
Man, it's almost like you guys have never seen Tom Brady or Peyton Manning make a mistake and lose a game. Holy shit! We got to ring the bells today.
Well, hold on a second. Not as often as Jordan Love has. So yeah, you're right. We haven't.
Oh my
Look at some
god!
comments here. Now I'm done sharing
I've
it.
seen
I
Andy
see we
Dalton make
started
quite a
taking acid
few.
this morning.
Yeah. Christina one is still in range.
Don't worry, Joe. We'll get to the Raiders in a second.
Go Browns, go! I mean, and they blocked the
Wait,
field goal.
Broski,
Wow.
didn't you pick the Cowboys to kick the Bears?
I thought the Cowboys were going to boat race the Bears.
Yeah,
I actually had the Bears.
Kitty.
I had the Bears by 2 scores. I didn't think it looked that easy. Look at the offense. So first off, I missed you guys. Going back to that, gone for 2 weeks. It was kind of nice. Alaska Cruise, highly recommend. But when I was getting ready for yesterday's game and thinking about it and going back to week 1, looking at the highlights and stats from week 2, the realization was this. The Bears offense has actually been pretty good so far this season overall. You've seen from week 1 to week 2, there's a progression. From week 2 to week 3, there's a progression. The single point of failure, because even the offensive line did exactly what I hoped they would do yesterday. The offensive line, guess how many procedural penalties the Bears offensive line had yesterday?
Well, I'm going to assume since you're asking 0.
Exactly. 0. There was 1 flag thrown on a lineman, and that was Darnell Wright on a holding call, but no false starts, which was the bane of our existence in week 1. Some of that in week 2. The Bears are making progress. If the Bears can beat the Raiders this week, sorry, Joe, and go 2-2 into the bye, they're okay. I mean, think about it. Who did the Packers play this week?
Cowboys.
So let's say you lose to the Cowboys because you just lost to Cleveland.
I mean, they just lost to the Bears. There's no way we could lose to them.
So let's just say you lose, for sake of argument, you lose. You're now 2-2, right? So I mean, look, you know, we knew that this season was going to. We said it coming into the season for all our teams. The first couple of weeks, we don't know what we got. It's still kind of preseason. The Packers came out hot. They got beat by a very good defense last week, and a lot of us have said coming into the season, right, that, hey, this is a team, don't sleep on Cleveland. They got a good defense. Don't sleep. There are a couple teams we said that about, right? They played Joe Burrow tough in week 1. I don't know who they played last week. I missed that. I was in Alaska.
They played the Ravens and held Derrick Henry to like 23 yards or something ridiculously low like that.
So I'm not going to completely shit on the Packers, but I'll say this. The Packers should have won that game. Easily. They should have won that game, but no, Jordan Love pulled a Dak Prescott and let Cleveland's offense get into the game.
Well, the major part of it is we pulled the Chicago Bears and let one of our kicks get blocked, and that was the final nail in the coffin.
Okay, sure, whatever.
I was going to say that game was going to be won until the kick got blocked. So,
and the Bears could still be a playoff team now. You get the 2-2 by the bye. I think you're okay because most of us had the Bears at 3-1 or 2-2 at the bye, anyways. How they win or lose the first 4 games doesn't matter. If they're 2-2 at the bye, they're 2-2 at the bye, and then Packers same way. Whether they be 3-1 or 2-2, it doesn't make a difference if they lost the first 2 games and won the back 2. If they lost the first one and won the next 3, if you're 2-2 at the bye, you're okay.
Well, the major thing helps that this was only an AFC game. So unless it comes down to specific record and that type of shit for home field advantage, a game don't mean much.
I mean, look, yeah, the offense for them, like I said, the offense for them, Cleveland was not good.
Well, hold on. You got to give it to their running back, that Quinshon Judkins there. He's good.
Big at the end, yes.
Yeah, I won't take that away from him.
The Packers defense with Micah Parsons and some of the other guys that got, and everyone got involved, like shut down an offense that's not that good. Unfortunately for Packer fans, Jordan Love, once again, threw a bad interception. It's not the first time, Ken. and he let them run. And look at that. That changed the whole game. You guys had this game won. Had Jordan Love not thrown an interception, game over.
Just rack up Pearl Harbor. Okay, that was a rare sneaky too.
Yeah. I was
honestly, though,
for the bad Caleb Williams interceptions too.
No, you don't remember what is his name? Luke Kim on South Park.
I know exactly where you were going with that.
Just like a Pearl Harbor, okay, that was very sneaky too.
There are times you can look at an interception and be like, okay, whatever, didn't mean much. And then there are times you can look at an interception and completely change the game against you. This was one of those times. It wasn't J.J. McCarthy throwing a pick six and coming back and somehow rallying the troops in week one. This was he threw an interception and now you lost the game. Sarah, it's the same link it's always been.
Yeah,
check your X is still in there. So yeah, I mean, bad loss for them. I mean, it just was. Oh, here's a guy who was at the Bears game. He's probably recovering from his hangover. Good morning, Woody.
Oh my God. What's going on?
I'm glad you got to see a win, Woody.
Yeah, Woody. You're not allowed to go back to Pennsylvania. You have to go to every Bears game from here on out.
Everyone.
If I stay here, I'm going to get smoked on by ice. So I think I'm going home.
So the Bears yesterday, though, look at while the offensive was impressive. They, Caleb, look at 4 touchdowns, 4 different receivers. The bad news there, Colson Loveland left the game injured. I don't know we'll find out what his status is going to be going forward. So that sucked. But the Bears defensively, to me, still isn't there yet. The beginning of the game, like Woody predicted before the game, they ran all over the Bears. Credit to Tyreek Stevenson for that turnover he created, though, on the run. That was something special. But otherwise, the Bears' run defense was not that good yesterday.
No, Devontae Williams isn't. He's like what? I don't know how old he is, but he's not like a Nick Chubb. He's not like a Derrick Henry.
I was gonna say he's not a bad running back. The issue with him is he's been injured just about every year of his career.
Right. So imagine going up against a big back, a good back, quick back. We would have been fucked yesterday. But otherwise,
I don't need a bag for that.
The defense looked okay. I like Montez Sweat's sack. That was a good sack. They were getting in on Dak. It's just that they were too fired up yesterday to lose that game. But it was interesting going there.
If the Bears beat the Raiders and are now 500 going into the bye week in week 5, they're actually not in a bad place.
I just wanted to give myself and Broski a pat on the back because we called it that Ashton Genty was not playing the Mountain West once he gets to the NFL.
Oh, shit.
He had 70 yards. It's not world beater, but it's not.
That's not terrible either.
Oh, dude. I was looking at it. I watched a good piece of that game, too. I had to do my scouting on the Raiders.
As quiet as it's kept, the Washington Commanders' interior defensive line is right now number 3 in the league in run defense. So, I feel worse about our play calling than I do about Genty's performance.
And the Raiders' defense looked like shit, too. Yeah, there wasn't a single aspect of the team that showed up yesterday, and that's concerning for me. Like, you're supposed to be getting better as the weeks go by, but they seem to be regressing as the weeks go by, so that's concerning.
Did you guys play yesterday?
Well, and that's the interesting, Joe, as we go into our war week, which we'll talk about all week probably. But the Bears' offensive line has been getting better as we go, like yesterday. No procedural penalties, no sacks. I think there was 5 or 7 hurries on Caleb. That was it. They're protecting much better, right? But then defensively, like Genty right now, I think Genty will have a good game against the Bears. Why? Because the Bears' rush defense was just suck ass. The secondary came up pretty good. Stevenson had a day yesterday. So our pass, but we aren't generating rush either. We got 2 sacks at the end of the game, and we know you have to chuck it all day. So really, I don't see the Bears' defense right now still hasn't progressed. The offense has, but the defense has not progressed enough to be the defense we think or know. Well, no, I'll just say think it should be, given the players on that team and the coordinator.
Yeah, the Cowboys don't have much of a pass rush and did the worst thing they could against Caleb is play zone. You see Caleb can pick apart a zone defense. Man, he has a lot more trouble against. But, hey, you allow him to throw through those seams, he'll beat you.
I mean, that flea flicker, that was fun.
That scared the fuck out of me, dude.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, are they running a trick play? That's not a sweep?
I was like, the way that ball got flicked back, I was like, this is a disaster. But then Caleb didn't even have the ball. Caleb didn't even have a ball for a split second. That was out of his hand.
Yeah, he had a very quick release with that. The 4th and goal touchdown was nice. And look, I like what they did with Caleb in terms of letting him run some, because then they had the spy. They had to run the spy, which let people get open. Bears offense is progressing. The defense, they need to progress some on the run this week, or Sarah and Broski, but Genty will look like an NFL rusher next week against the Bears if the Bears rush defense, which got beefier with Grady Jarrett in the middle, doesn't improve.
Yeah, true story, Ken. I mean, I totally expect Genty to have the best game of his career so far against the Bears, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Like offensive player of the week.
I don't. I honestly don't, because the Raiders' offensive line it might be the worst Raiders' offensive line I've ever seen. Like, it's really that bad. They're like turnstiles. And I blame coaching for it. They started Alex Kappa yesterday instead of Jackson Powers Johnson. They tweaked the offensive line. They put Meredith at center, Dylan Parham at left guard, where he's always struggled. He's only ever been good, or I wouldn't even say good. I would say decent. He's only ever been decent at right guard. At last year, in the second half of the season, they found an offensive line combination that worked with Colton Miller at left tackle, Meredith at left guard, Jackson Powers Johnson at center, Dylan Parham at right guard, and then DJ Glaze at right tackle. But for some reason, they came in this year and decided, no, we're going to put Meredith at center and put JPJ at right guard and Dylan Parham at left guard. They switched it all up, and it's just been terrible ever since.
Well,
I think they should go back to that original combination.
But Joseph, I go look at with the Bears. I said, look, it's year one of a new head coach, new systems on offense and defense, new playbooks, right? At least with the Bears, you didn't change your front, right? You stayed in the same base package look, but still a new scheme. It takes time. It's going to take a couple weeks. But the Raiders is the same thing. This is year one of Pete Carroll of a new, everything really for the Raiders. I mean, yeah, you've got players that were there, but it's a new everything for the Raiders. And in fact, in your case, it's even more. New quarterback, new weaponry, new coaches, new scheme. It's going to take a couple weeks. I hated the week 5 bye week when Woody and I and Broski and even Ken, because the Packers have it. We were all like, man, it's week 5 bye week.
Let me tell you, I am ecstatic that we have it now. Because holy shit, those injuries on our offensive line are terrible. And Jordan Morgan had a terrible game.
Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken.
You had a terrible game. We need to get these guys healthy because holy shit, I am not impressed with the backups.
Hey, Ken. Do you want our DBs for our DB injuries that we got? Yeah. I'll trade with you.
No, our DBs are enough.
All right.
Before we get too far down this, but let me give Sarah some love here real quick. The Minnesota Vikings yesterday showed the world just how good Joe Burrow is.
You know he didn't play?
That's what I mean. They showed how good he makes Cincinnati by when he plays. They completely and utterly destroyed Cincinnati, and the only difference is there's no Joe Burrow there.
Well, the Bengals are done without Joe Burrow. They might as well start
Well, and you know what? You know what, Sarah, too? I'm not sold on Chase Brown either. Everybody was thinking Chase Brown is a great running back. I was like, dude, he's not even in the NFL that long. Oh, they'll cover Joe Burrow with Chase Brown. I'm not. Their Bengals are done.
He had 10 rushes for 3 yards.
Yeah. No.
And like yesterday showed me how important a left tackle is, because we got Darisaw back in like yesterday's game. We didn't hear nothing about Trey Hendrickson. That's how much a left tackle impacts.
Yeah, my fantasy game suffered because of that, because I had him starting. Where's that PFF grade?
Whoever had the Vikings defense on fantasy yesterday, boy, did they eat good.
Isaiah Rodgers, who's a cornerback for the Vikings that no one knows about because who would?
There you go.
Until yesterday.
That's what I'm talking about.
Scored the highest overall PFF graded NFL history yesterday.
Broski,
a 99.9.
This is for you, Broski. Oh, yeah.
A 99.9 score by Isaiah Rodgers yesterday. That's insane. And it's no Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that defense really stepped up, man. They played tough.
Man, then Keegan, what's that say about the Lions that they got dominated by a team that choked to the Browns?
Right. Hey, I wanted to say thanks. I just came on. I need to go get some Belgian waffles before I piss out moonshine the rest of the day. So, wanted to come on and say happy Victory Monday. And I'll be back Wednesday. We're flying back tomorrow. So
glad you got to see a win, Woody.
Go get you some Portillo's today, brother.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Good, buddy.
I mean, we knew the Bengals had no defense, but losing Burrow, they might as well have been a high school football team.
Dude, they are trash.
Oh, so yep, Victory Monday feels good. Thank God it happened.
Oh God. Well, good news for you is you got a game tonight, and we all get to talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking about this game?
I was going to say, the Lions don't have the best luck out in Baltimore, but to be fair, Baltimore has not looked the greatest so far this year. They blew the last-second game to Buffalo to start. They let Derrick Henry get held down to 23, 29 yards, whatever the hell it was, rushing.
That was like 46.
No, it was
close. Because they can't cover running quarterbacks, and their quarterback is a statue. They're getting out to ass tonight.
I don't know, man. I kind of think the Lions might beat them up tonight. I kind of think the Lions are going to win by double digits tonight.
Oh, God.
I'm not joking. I think it's about matchups, man. Like, I just break it down. And, dude, the Ravens defense is banged up and just very overrated. I don't see how they're stopping the Lions, honestly.
The Lions for me are like like the Bears in this way. New stuff, right? Week 1, they came out. The new offensive line obviously didn't work. They weren't in sync with it yet. The play calling on both sides of the ball didn't work. They corrected that against the Bears in week 2. A little ref assist at the end of the first half didn't hurt either, giving that extra play to score that extra touchdown. So this is another good test for them, the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens, even with the injuries, have a really good defense, and they still have a potent offense that can put up points. I don't know.
I was going to say, this could very well be a shootout type of game.
Is this game in Baltimore?
Yes.
Well, they get 3 points just for that. Usually when they do the spread, so.
And I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson has only lost once to an NFC team. He's like 27-1 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. So I just look at that like he's due. I look at that like he's due for a loss then.
So are we believing this Danny Dimes hype? He looks good though. You have to
I gotta say, I've given him a lot of shit over the years and even the beginning of this season. I got to say he looks good over there in Indy, and
Indiana
amazing
Jones.
what happens when you give this guy an offensive line.
Indiana Jones, his new nickname. Look, I mean, I'm not surprised, Sarah. On one hand, I'm not surprised because he showed flashes of the capability in New York. That's why he got the contract, because he had shown those flashes. But then New York, being New York, kind of screwed the pooch with protecting him, providing weapons not named Saquon. You know, I mean, so am I surprised? Yes, because there's like last year with Darnold. It was like no one expected him to be any good, but yet he's been in the league. He'd shown signs before, and he finally put it together. So could this be Indiana Jones's finally putting it together? Yeah, it could be.
I was going to say this is why I was pounding the table for the Vikings to sign him as their quarterback instead of Carson Wentz, because I think that even though Carson Wentz had a good game, Danny Dimes would look a hell of a lot better in that offense than even he does with Indianapolis.
I agree with that, A-Dub. A-Dub, you
guys think this is a indictment on Brian Dable, though? Because, like, everybody blamed Danny Dimes, and Danny Dimes left, and he's, like, balling, and the Giants' offense still looks like shit.
So, yeah, you know what, though? Sir, you know what makes me maybe blame Dable even more was watching last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you put Dart, like, you put Dart in, and it's all run play. So then, obviously, when you bring in Russ, it's a pass play. But no, we're gonna fake you out, and we're gonna run with Russ. But he's gonna slip and fall.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna get what, a yard and a half?
Yeah, so I mean, I think Dable's one of those guys who might be a better OC than a head coach. I think the players kind of like him on some level. At least the offensive players do. But his head coach decisions aren't necessarily the best. Like, when it comes to what quarterback to start, I think he's missing that. When it comes to, I think that with Danny Dimes, it's partially on him and partially on the GM because they let that offensive line go to trash. Because he showed that he had the capability to maybe be that. But then they kind of didn't do anything to help foster that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it smells very Baker Mayfield-ish. You know what I mean? How, like, the Browns just gave up on him, and now all of a sudden Baker's one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, but the difference was, though, Baker was one of the better quarterbacks in the league when he was in Cleveland. He actually took them from the trash heap and made them a playoff team. And then they said, ooh, look at this shiny new object that's a free agent. Let's go sign him and get rid of our object that we don't think is as shiny. And boy, were they wrong.
I mean, he played decent in Cleveland. I don't know if I'd say he's one of the better ones, but yeah, I mean, he definitely had a better start to his career. But the point being is, man, some of these quarterbacks, it takes years to get them ready, to get them up to speed. The NFL is a very difficult game, man. Like, playing quarterback, it's not easy.
Especially when you get drafted into a shit team that won't give you any kind of support, doesn't give you any kind of O-line or any weapons, you're like fucked unless a team comes and rescues you.
Oh, I think some of it is market though too. Well, like if you're a quarterback and you're drafted to a major market, Chicago, New York, LA, right? That's hard enough as it is. Because the major market media is a lot different than the smaller market media.
And let's not forget, oh, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry, I thought you were.
Oh, so that's part of it too, because expectation in those bigger markets is always bigger, and they want you to be the savior. And I think, like with Caleb, you saw that. Like, Caleb had to be the savior out the gate. And look, at some guys come out the gate and they start big, right? Jaden Daniels did last year, for example. And then they kind of taper off. And then other quarterbacks, they have progression. Look at Josh Allen. Like, Bills fans are like, who the hell is this guy? Get this bum out of here when he first got there. And now he's literally a walking god in Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. So, the first two seasons for Allen were terrible. Year three is like when it all started coming together. And Daniel Jones played at Duke. Let's not forget that. I mean, it's not like he was NFL ready playing at Duke.
Yeah, he needs some time. And New York was a bad place for him to go. I think if he would have gone someplace like Indianapolis to start his career, I think we talk differently about him. So
I don't know if back then that would have happened, because you got to remember Indianapolis, they had quite a bit of upheaval going back and forth for a few years, and now it seems like they got a little bit going on now.
I mean, like a smaller market team. If you go to a smaller market team, comparable, let's say, to how New York was, because it's not just when your team plays bad. Like, okay, for Caleb, last year the team was playing bad, and that's a lot for a young quarterback to take. Because not only are you losing games because the team as a whole isn't playing well, but in a major market, the pressure on you being the quarterback is much, much, much more than, let's say, if you're in Jacksonville. There's a lot more weight that comes with it. And I think New York's another one of those places. So Danny goes to a team that, had some remnants of goodness when he first got there, but they didn't maintain it. They didn't replace broken parts, and it went to shit. And so he had the full weight of that thrown onto him. Whereas if he was, let's say, in Jacksonville, that might not have been the case. And even if he had the media on him, it's not like New York. It's like one's a Yugo, the other's a Mack truck. You know what I mean? In weight difference. And that's a reality of this league with the markets. And I think the market you play in, like, look at being in Green Bay is much more forgiving than being in LA. Why? Green Bay is a small market. Yes, they live and breathe football up there, but it's a small market.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you go anywhere on the Packers sites, they're going nuts over this one.
Who's pushing to? You better play that rookie. Even if he's not ready. Green Bay doesn't have an owner that's going to be getting in the way. So I think it's a lot more beneficial for like somebody to get to Green Bay, even though it's boring as shit there and there ain't shit to do. They're going to be focused on football because there ain't shit to do.
I mean, A-Dub, look at A-Dub says it right. I think the Packers did it right in the way they got Jordan Love. They drafted him. He sat for a couple years. Of course, I think that the plan kind of went awry because of Rodgers a little bit. That forced him into a decision on his contract that, where they really didn't have much choice with the contract they gave him. That's the only thing that probably, if you would ask Gutekunst if he could change, was like, yeah, let me get one more year of Love before I had to give him the big contract so I could gauge it better, maybe sign a better contract. Now, by the end of his contract, it'll look good because the numbers will have risen for everyone else. The end of contracts always look good at the end of the contract. But at the beginning of the contract, it doesn't look so good for him, right? But yeah, C.J. Stroud, look at C.J. Stroud came out the box hot. Now what's up with him? I mean, he's okay. He's still good, but he's not lighting the world on fire this season. Like, neither was he last season. I think it takes time with quarterbacks. Well, it takes time with quarterbacks. It takes time with teams.
Well, and then if you're a second-year quarterback, now defensive coordinators have a year's worth of film to look at you, and then you're going to have to make adjustments to that new adjustment that they make against you.
Yeah, Bo Nix, another one. And look at last year's draft class, last year's rookie class, those 5 quarterbacks, I think they're all going to do well in the NFL. They're all going to have good careers probably. They showed potential to do so. But like Sarah said, now they got tape. All right, Bo Nix, so how do you overcome it, right? I mean, how let's say you develop, let's see you adapt. Okay, C.J. Stroud, you should be adapting more this year. This is your make or break year, like it's Love's make or break year in terms of starting, right? Caleb, let's see progress versus last year. And I think we're starting to see that with Caleb for the Bears a little bit. And we've seen progress from Love. We've seen progress from Stroud. But we've also seen them stymied in some ways where they haven't figured out that.
Yeah. I was going to say, LaFleur did come out and say that call on the interception was a bad call and all that, which it probably was, and it probably was the wrong play, but I still put it on Jordan Love to where if you would have waited a half a second more, you would have seen that he was sitting in the zone, but you got too impatient with it. And that's my issue with it. Is sometimes he's impatient.
At the same time, the game is speed game is going so fast that they don't really have that second to wait either, you know.
Well, the other parts there that I was going to say is also, though, when you look at Jordan Love, his situation is a little different than most, right? Because he's being lauded as the third coming, right, in Green Bay. You know, the third franchise great quarterback. Not that the guy has an ego. Well, they all have egos. They should have egos. But they've built him up so much and empowered him so much ego trip-wise, right, that it's almost like he thinks he's Teflon. And it's not trying to be a slam on Love. It's just the reality of the situation between the media does good. It does a lot of bad, actually, with guys. It rips on them too hard. It also pumps them up and puts them on pedestals. And they put Love on such a pedestal in some ways that he just thinks, well, I can do whatever. I can make it all happen.
That's part of the issue is that he has the A-plus arm talent and can make just about every single throw. The problem is he tries to make every single throw. Sometimes you got to give up on shit. Granted, this interception wasn't one of those, but there were a few times he took a sack where he should have just threw that sumbitch away.
And let me be fair. Caleb yesterday made some throws that made your jaw drop, right?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but that one that he skipped up to the running back.
So let me finish the thought. I was going to get there. 35 and 65-yard bombs, right? Start. Beautiful throws, amazing throws. The touchdown to DJ Moore, beautiful play, beautiful throw. But then sometimes the easy stuff, skip to Lou, my darling. Let me skip it in there. He makes the hard throws just jaw go, wow, I can't believe a guy can do that. And then the easy stuff, it's almost like it's too boring for him. It's like, whatever, he'll get there. Like, that's Caleb's fault right now. He makes the hard throws and misses the easy throws.
He's the quarterback version of Romeo Dobbs. Makes the fucking hard shit, but the easy shit, And Yinzer, we couldn't run the ball for shit. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Jacobs couldn't run the ball for shit. When we had Emmanuel Wilson and he was getting a couple of chunk plays, but for some reason we decided not to continue with him.
Well, people laugh at Cleveland, but people forget they still have a very good defense.
Oh, we've been lauding their defense all offseason, going, this team is one you don't sleep on because all they got to do is keep it close defensively, and they got a chance. And yesterday proved that. The defense down there kept it close, right? And then basically, I don't think they forced a turnover, but Jordan Love gave them the gift and created a short field where Cleveland's anemic offense that could at least run the ball with their second-round pick was able to capitalize and then win the game, right? Because then they blocked the field goal, and then they don't have to do much. I mean, that's how Cleveland wins games this year. They will have to be, their defense will have to be on point every game. If their defense has a bad day, you're going to look like Cincinnati did yesterday.
Hey, Ken, the Packer fan, I just watched the replay of that interception a couple times. And you're right, man. The Browns actually did do a really good job of baiting him into throwing that pass.
Because they'd been playing man coverage all game long. And they executed that play call absolutely perfect. It looked like man coverage the whole way till that final second where he peels off of Tucker Kraft and just sits in the zone.
Yeah. And did you notice too, like there was actually another Browns player right next to him that if the guy who intercepted the ball wasn't there, the other Browns guy would have picked it off. That's how well they had that one figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say the same thing, Eric. Give Cleveland an offense and they'll be dangerous. And I'll tell you what, their offense is going to get better. Their offense is they're still dropping some easy catches. There's still some miscommunication in that offense. As Cleveland's offense gets even marginally better, watch out. They're going to be a hard out for any team.
Yeah, if they make themselves a run first type of team with Quinshawn Junkins there, they'll do damn good. Because Joe Flacco, even with him being grandpa now, still has enough in the tank to execute the little bit that you would need him to execute at that point. He's not going to win you a game, but you should still be able to do enough with him.
The problem with Flacco is, though, like some of his strengths with the deep balls aren't there this season. He's floated a lot of them, so he's lost the crispness. That's the problem. That's the problem for Flacco. If he could get some of his crispiness back and not float so many of those deeper balls that turn those incompletions or interceptions into actual completions, they would be really doing well this year. Flacco is still overall going to makes pretty good decisions, but his crispness, his accuracy has dropped. And that's the big problem for Flacco right now. It's like you can tell what he wants to do, but his body betrays him. Does that make sense?
I think the Bengals better make a call to Atlanta and see if they can get Kirk Cousins or their season's done.
I think Atlanta has enough of their own calls to worry about. They put up 0 points against the Carolina fucking Panthers.
I watched that game, man.
You're going to have to give these young quarterbacks, they're going to go up and down, and you're just going to have to take the lumps. And if you're not going to do that, why draft him? You know,
they should have let him sit this whole season behind Cousins and then made him the starter. They jumped the gun. Point blank. They should have let him sit. But he did so great when he came in for Cousins at the end of the season. Did he really? His numbers were actually pretty pedestrian last season.
People were glazing how great he was against the Vikings. I'm like, if you watch the game, he didn't really do shit. It was their run game and their pass rush that killed us. He didn't do shit.
I mean, they jumped the gun. They should not have started Penix. They should have started, and I said this in the offseason, there should have been a quarterback battle, and they should have started Cousins.
Yeah, but then you're just putting these games further out to where the quarterback's still figuring out his way. You just move the goalposts down farther.
But look, that's fine, though. It worked for Jordan Love, right? I mean, look at Packer fans. Hey, look at Jordan Love. We did it right. Do the same thing with Penix, but instead of doing it on a 3-year sit, you do it on a 2-year sit. And I think they would have been
Aaron Rodgers. Atlanta has, Kirk. And so, they're not going to, I don't know what they're doing.
Hey, take the hate, your hatred of Kirk out of the equation for a moment, because I know you don't like him, but look at last year he set some Atlanta passing records, right? He was doing really well for them until he hurt the shoulder against Nola. We all know he's a good in-season quarterback. I think, Sarah, your biggest bitch is like, yeah, he's great in the season, and then he gets to me in the playoffs, and then what? Nothing. And I get that. That's a fair argument. But right now, if you got a guy who you drafted, it shouldn't have drafted when you drafted him to begin with, but you've got him, and you've got a guy like Cousins who can win you a lot of games in the season, coach, mentor, and train Penix throughout the week at practice, then show him during the week how it's done, then maybe you let Penix grow this year, and then next year it's easier to move on from Kurt, and then you name Penix your starter. He's got another year under his belt. He's acquired more skills. He's acquired better mentality, and maybe you're doing better than you are now.
I kind of look at it the opposite way. I think Penix starting now, he's taking his lumps, and he's either going to sink or swim, dude. Like most quarterbacks in the league have to. Like when you're drafted in the first round, you're generally expected to play right away. We've had debates about whether that's a good thing or not, so I'm not. But the fact is, like, right now, yeah, he doesn't look great, but these reps that he's getting are invaluable to his development. Like, he's going to make the mistakes now, so, hopefully he doesn't make those same mistakes later. Like,
I agree with that, Joe, but here's a question/problem if you're Atlanta. Your current roster is kind of made to win now. You've got a lot of really good talent. Do you really want to wait when you have a quarterback who could make you win now?
Well, especially when you're paying him $27 million to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're right. Like their roster has a lot of weapons. It has the ability to win now. But for me, I know it's going to sound stupid because everybody wants to win now. But if it's going to set back the development of your franchise quarterback that you drafted, I'm kind of like, I'd rather take the losses now and let Penix get the reps that he needs. And hopefully by the end of the season, he starts to show improvement. He starts to look better. That's what I'm hoping for.
if I'm the Falcons.
Darnell Mooney, he's not gonna be the most expensive contract to re-sign. They're gonna get it. Drake London cost money. They got some guys where you wonder if they're gonna be able to keep some of these guys. It's not like Chicago or Minnesota or Green Bay or even Detroit, right? Where these guys are built for longevity with the way their contracts and their rosters are built. Like Caleb and JJ are going to have the receivers for the next 3 to 5 years, right? Penix might start losing more weapons than he's gaining here because of the way Atlanta's built and the money they've spent. So, I mean, it kind of like it's not the same situation, right? But it's not completely that different either. But I don't know. I just think, why are you going to spend $27 million a year to have Kirk Cousins sit on the bench when you can win now? And you can still play Penix. Why not do what they did in Arizona years ago with Warner and what was his name? Run the dual quarterback system.
Yeah, I get that and all, but it didn't even work out great for them when they were doing it over there in Arizona.
They went to the Super Bowl doing it.
I think if you do that, though, you're taking reps away from one guy who needs reps during the week to prepare for the week 2. And so when you're splitting up reps like that, it doesn't really benefit either.
I mean, look at Cleveland. Arizona went to the Super Bowl doing that with Liner.
Yeah, but I was going to say, didn't they start doing that after they had went to the Super Bowl?
It was the Super Bowl. It was the Super Bowl year. And look, I think Dable's starting to do that in New York. Dable isn't doing it enough in New York, I would say, because when they become now, everyone knows when you put Dart in what he's going to do and what Russ is going to do. Mix it up. I think Dable's actually somewhat on the right track. If he's going to get Dart reps now, let him throw, right? Mix it up a little bit and make it really do it like they did Leinart and Warner. There's something when you have an old veteran quarterback like Warner, like Russ, like Cousins, and a young guy where you can mix it like that and actually maybe progress that young kid even further faster. And I get it, splitting reps in practice, but look, it's better than getting all the reps and getting torched every week. If you can get half the reps, not get torched every week, and not get into bad habits, which some guys do as they get torched every week.
I mean, I would use the Peyton Manning argument. Like, look at Peyton Manning's rookie year. He set the NFL league record for interceptions.
Yeah.
And if they had given up on him after his rookie year, we wouldn't have Peyton Manning in the Hall of Fame.
So should New York jettison Russ for Dart now then?
In my opinion, they should. I think they should be giving Dart as many reps as they can, and take your lumps this year, because I don't think Dart is going to turn that team or the whole team around. But I think he'll win more games than Russ, and you continue to add talent. But I think these reps for Dart would be invaluable. I really do. You got to give him as much as you can learn the mental side of the game, sitting on the bench and holding a clipboard. You can't learn the physical side of the game, the speed of the game, and the timing and everything on the bench. That's something that you can only learn in the baptism by fire. So I think
defenses play you different when you're a rookie quarterback. They're sending the house to you every single time, and that's something you're going to have to get through and take your lumps. And then once you can show that you can beat their all the blitz they're coming at you and all that, then they'll call off the dogs. But you're going to have to go through that rookie hazing by defensive coordinators. Why do you think Brian Flores is the number one coordinator when it comes to winning against young quarterbacks?
Yeah,
I think and Broski said that Warner started 16 games that year. Leinart played a lot, though. He
only played in 4 games that year.
He played in more than 4 games.
I'm looking at it right now.
I swear it was more than 4.
No. The next year he played in 8. In 2006 he played 12, but other than that he only played a handful of games.
I think they should use Dart more in New York. I think that Cousins, they got paying him $27 million to send the bench isn't working. Would he be better in Cleveland? Oh yeah, I think Cleveland would be much better with him. I think Cousins gets him automatically 3 or 4 extra wins just on his quarterback play. Does that mean they're a playoff team? I don't know. Maybe with that defense, probably.
I don't know if that makes them more bearable to watch.
Well, Cleveland's not going to be an easy out for anyone in the North this year. So, you know.
Oh, that's why I didn't talk shit, because I'm like, we're playing them in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, take it from us when you guys have to play Cleveland, pack a lunch because it's going to be a game.
Now, how long is Burrow out in Cincinnati?
I think for the year.
At least 3 months.
But if he sees how that team is looking, he ain't gonna come back.
Yeah.
Joe, how long was that? Did you say 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months.
So look, that's good for the NFC North. I think we all get them within the 3-month period. Good for us. But that team, I'll tell you what. If I'm Cincinnati 4 weeks from now, and I haven't won a game again, I'm just shutting Burrow down for the season and saying, "Give me the number 1 pick." I can either then trade it away to a quarterback-hungry team or go defense.
I'm going offensive line. There ain't no way in hell I'm not using that pick on the very best offensive lineman available. After how bad they can
I would say go. Okay, go offensive line and defense. Let me mix that up. And look, you could sell that number 1 pick and get dropped back to 5 or 6. Pick up an extra second rounder, and now you're picking up 3, maybe 4 blue chip guys between offensive line and defense that you can start right away and kind of kickstart. There are some things. Look, if I'm sorry, Bengals fans, for the few that may be watching, cut Burrow down for the season and trade out the number 1 pick and then just get offensive linemen and the defensive players and spend your whole draft on it. And really, if you think about it, if you sell that number 1 pick, you're probably going to get – look what the Bears got. They got a starting wide receiver. Maybe you get a starting offensive lineman or a starting corner or something like that. You swap your first rounders and pick up 2 additional. If you look at that model, think of the jump start. Think of what you can give.
Yeah, but that's assuming that they are going to be able to draft the right guy too, though. And their scouting department is shit. There's like 2 people in their scouting department.
Yeah, I get it, Sarah. But if they're going to have next year, they'll have the number 1, and that's it. But then the next 2 years, they got 2 number 1s out of that deal. And if they get a decent player, even a halfway decent offensive lineman that does improve them, I mean, look at you're gonna have 5 number 1 picks. Odds are you're gonna hit at least 2 of them.
I have to ask Joe a question. Joe, Trey Tucker, who is this guy? He had a huge game. Where did he come from?
He came from the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, and he was drafted in the 3rd round a few years ago as like a gadget player. But he's really fast. He's a good deep ball guy. But he's been kind of pushed down the depth chart because we had Jacoby Myers but this season he's been really the only receiver that's been able, aside from Bowers, but Bowers has been hurt. He's been the only receiver that's been able to consistently get separation. Tucker's coming along nicely, dude. Like I don't think he has number 1 potential, but you know, he's a really good number 3. Like he's a good deep ball guy. But I think Chip Kelly's been using him. Like he used him well yesterday, but Chip Kelly has been doing a lot in the first 2 games, a lot of like screens and a lot of like end around stuff to him.
Okay.
But I gotta say, dude, Chip Kelly's play calling for me has been less than stellar. Like if I can sit here and read on ESPN that the Washington Commanders are the number 3 team against the run, especially like in between the tackles, I'm not going to continue to slam Genty up the middle
every single time. Like, I'm going to try some outside zone runs. I'm going to try some misdirections, some counters, some traps. I'm going to try some other things. Not Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's like, let's just keep going up the fucking middle, boys. Like, and to me, like,
it's okay. LaFleur called the same thing in Cleveland.
Look, there's a part of me though that I agree with you, Joe, but there's a part of me that says, look, he's trying to build something with that offensive line, and they keep doing it early. It is week 3, so you want to test it, you want to push it. Are they really the threat? It's week after 2 games, they're in the top 3. Big deal. It's been 2 games. Maybe they played 2 shitty run teams, whatever. So yeah, you give it the shot, but I think he's also trying to build that line and build that offense. And like in Chicago, like in Detroit, and a couple other places, it's taking time to develop, and for them to make, and they'll make adjustments. I think Chip Kelly, while he was not a great NFL head coach, I think he's going to be a good OC. And I would say, look, you want to test Genty too, and these are the weeks you do that. It's kind of like tonight's game. What's the over/under on Tesla having another ridiculous one-handed catch in this game? It's going to happen. He's done the first 2, right? You keep doing these things, you test it. And I think Chip Kelly's doing a little bit of that with your offense. And look, it's going to work out for you well, probably against the Bears, because our run defense sucks right now. Now, if Chip Kelly comes out against the Bears and just wants to throw the ball over the place and abandons the run, I would agree with you more.
Yeah, exactly. This is the week for the Raiders to keep running the ball up the middle.
Yeah, but see, here's my thing: is they're not really doing Genty any favors. Like, for the first 2 weeks, it was a lack of carries. Week 1, New England sold out against the run, so I get that. Like, Genty was never going to have a big game because they had 9 guys in the box the whole time, and our offensive line isn't that great. We're also not putting out the best combination of our offensive linemen. Like, we have them in positions where they're not at their best. Like, Parham should be playing right guard, not left guard. Meredith should be playing left guard, not center. Jackson Powers Johnson should be playing center. If they made those adjustments, I would feel a lot better about running Genty up the middle. But they really haven't done him any favors. And so now it's like we're hearing this whole, Genty's a bust thing, but I don't think it's really fair to him. Like, from what I've seen of him, he's had a lot of chunk plays. Like, he's had some really nice 10, 13, 15-yard carries, but then half the time, or more than half the time, he's getting carries up the middle. He's getting carries up the middle, and more than half the time, I would say about 70% of the time, he's got guys touching him as soon as the ball is in his hands. Like, there's already guys in the backfield.
So Joe,
it's hard to break tackles when you're getting touched as soon as the ball gets to your hands. Like,
so Joe, the argument you're making is the same problem we had. It was made actually yesterday for the Bears with Swift. Yeah, he breaks off. He's had some great little chunk runs and broken off a few, but the efficiency overall is not there for the Bears run game.
And it's because of the offensive line.
It's the same thing for the Raiders, and it's the offensive line. I know you're not a big fan of the changes, obviously, as we're hearing here today. But, where are they 4 weeks from now? Does this line come together and gel, and all of a sudden it's working? Because yesterday for the Bears, right, they said that the Bears kept running the ball down the middle. And you know what? Eventually, they had some nice runs yesterday. They had some decent runs later in the game because they broke that offensive line down a little, or that defensive line down a little bit. So the same could be true. And look, at this week, you should run all over the Bears. Until the Bears prove they can run, you guys Genty should be getting fed.
Honestly, that's what I'm afraid of. Is that Genty has a good game and they're like, oh, see, it's working, and then they're going to lose the next 3 games after that because they refuse to change the offensive line combination. In my opinion, they should put the guys back where they were successful at the end of last season and try to run the scheme that way. I mean, what do you have to lose, dude? Like, there's still time in the season to turn it around.
It's definitely something we'll be talking about as the week goes on, guys. We're already out of time. What a great way to come back. Miss you guys on vacation. Thank you for coming on, Sarah. Thank you, Broski. Thank you, Woody. Of course, Joe and Ken, as always. Thank you, everyone in the comments across all the platforms. We'll be back here tomorrow. I'll tell you, look, we got a football game tonight. We're going to be talking about the Lions, Ravens, what happens tonight, tomorrow, some. And then we get War Week as the Raiders or actually we go to them to beat them in Vegas yet again. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.